Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This public hearing is being held on the 2012 proposed operating budget report and tentative appropriation ordinance of the Chicago Park District. Notice of this public hearing was published on Monday, November 21st, 2011 in the Chicago Sun-Times, a newspaper of general circulation within the Chicago area. The public hearing is being held in the 8th floor boardroom of the Chicago Park District's administration building, located at 541 North Fairbanks, Chicago, Illinois, at 4 p.m. on December 7th, 2011. Will the Secretary please take a roll call of the Commissioners?
Commissioner Shalaby?
Here.
Commissioner Koldak? Commissioner Hanlon?
Here.
Commissioner Lavelle? Commissioner Salgado? Vice President Pickens?
Here.
President Trobert?
Here.
Quorum is present. Let the record reflect that General Superintendent Michael Kelly and General Counsel Maria Garcia are also in attendance.
This meeting is hereby called to order. General Superintendent Kelly will address the Commissioners and audience.
Thank you. President Trobert, Vice President Pickens, members of the board, good afternoon on this 70th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. I'd also like to acknowledge Lawrence Masal, President of the Civic Federation. And I'd also like to take the time to acknowledge and thank Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who has entrusted me with the great privilege of serving as General Superintendent and CEO of the Chicago Park District. Since my arrival in 2003, the Park District has grown. We have increased the number of parks from 552 to 582. And we've acquired more than 826 acres of land and expanded 28 existing parks. During the past year and a half, I, along with our team, have visited each of our facilities. I have also met with countless park patrons, advisory council members, and our own staff. I've listened to their concerns, and I've worked beside them to overcome challenges, build new parks, develop programming, and construct new playgrounds for children to enjoy. I know firsthand the incredible impact that parks make on the quality of life for Chicago's families, including my own. Particularly during this difficult economic time, families are faced with making tough choices in order to provide their most basic needs. We at the district have also had to make our tough choices. In fact, when we began the 2012 budget process, we faced a $25 million deficit. As a result, it is critical that we too continue to make tough choices to ensure that every neighborhood is supported with quality, affordable, and diverse recreation opportunities. The Chicago Park District's 2012 operating budget outlines $407.5 million in expenditures, which is a nominal 2.5% increase from the 2011 budget. And this is mainly caused by rising personnel costs due to negotiated labor agreements and the opening of the 31st Street Harbor next spring. Personnel-related expenses are at $156 million, and an additional $89.5 million in debt service make up nearly 2/3 of the district's budget. Although significant, these expenses represent investments in our workforce and our facilities, two of the Chicago Park District's most critical resources. An equally important investment is our $36 million financial commitment to museums in the park and the free Lincoln Park Zoo. Together, these institutions attract millions of visitors annually and contribute to Chicago's cultural and educational opportunities while boosting our local economy. The costs for these and other necessary operating expenses continue to rise while district revenues remain sluggish. In order to secure our financial stability for future years, I am committed to work with the board to execute a multi-year plan to eliminate the district's structural deficit by 2015. By accomplishing this over several years, we will be better equipped to make strategic decisions to safeguard the financial future of the Chicago Park District. This year's plan to reduce the deficit includes debt refinancing and the reallocation of an expiring debt payment to support park operations. We will eliminate 33 vacant full-time equivalent positions and reduce spending by $1.5 million at the central administration level. In addition, the Chicago Park District will institute 3 shutdown days in 2012 for a total savings of $1 million. This is one less shutdown day than ordered in 2011. Together, these changes address about $12 million of the Park District's $25 million structural deficit. In order to fill the remaining gap, we will take advantage of a one-time use of $13.3 million of our fund balance. Although we will implement 3 district-wide shutdown days for 2012, this balanced budget includes no mandatory furlough days or layoffs ordered for the upcoming year. I'm also proud to say the Park District, once again for the 7th consecutive year, has been able to hold the line on property taxes. Still, we need to do more. As a result, we will execute a number of belt-tightening measures as part of our reform. We will consolidate departments, which will allow us to reduce senior management by 20%. We will eliminate employer-paid parking. We will redeploy at least 60 administrative positions to the parks to better serve residents and communities across the city. And in turn, this redeployment could provide potential new revenues by freeing up office space to lease to others. In addition, we will partner with the City of Chicago to launch an employee wellness program to lessen the burden on healthcare. We will invest in professional staff development to achieve a higher level of professionalism and customer service. And finally, we have strengthened our internal audit and performance audit functions by adding staff to improve efficiency and accountability here at the district. Now, despite these successes, we continue to seek ways to operate more efficiently and boost revenue to support our parks. Nominal fee increases for golf rounds, boat slips, select permit fees, and Soldier Field parking will generate $1.4 million. We do understand that these increases are not ideal. However, they are necessary for us to enhance our level of service. For example, this revenue will enable the district to launch several program initiatives, including discounts for families enrolling multiple children in our programs. We will also invest $200,000 to expand free summer sports leagues for teens. And for the first time ever, the Chicago Park District will offer free programming for active duty military and a 10% discount for their families. To further our commitment to serving our park patrons, we will also fill 70 programming and facility maintenance positions during the first quarter of 2012. Over the next year, we will make key capital investments, including the Chicago River Boathouse Initiative, the North Grant Park rebuild, the new harbor at 31st Street, 6 new artificial turf fields, and renovating 100 basketball courts across the city. In these tough economic times, we must continue to seek the support of partners who understand the importance of parks to help facilitate our efforts. Without the cooperation of these organizations, many worthwhile projects and programs simply could not move forward. I'd like to thank the Parkways Foundation for the work they have done in support of the parks, and I'd also like to thank Friends of the Parks and look forward to working with them not only as a visionary partner, but a financial partner as well. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank the Garfield Park Conservatory Alliance for their support in restoring the conservatory after the violent hailstorm destroyed the 103-year-old facility's glass invaluable plantings. Through their fundraising efforts, the Alliance has collected more than $200,000, coupled with the tireless work of our conservatory staff, and we were able to reopen the Fern Room just this last weekend. And with that opening of the Fern Room, that now 75% of that historic facility is reopened to the public, and I think that's amazing. In close, although we have many challenges ahead of us, I am confident that by working together, we will continue to move Chicago's parks forward. The 2012 budget highlights the efficiencies, accountability, and transparency that I am committed to providing to Chicago residents throughout my administration. It also provides the blueprint needed to manage our parks in order to strengthen our children, families, and communities through recreation. Thank you.
We will now open the hearing to public discussion. Will the secretary call the names of those who have signed up to speak?
We have Ms. Irma Tranter. We do ask that you please limit your comments to 2 minutes. 2 minutes. That's Ms. Irma Tranter. Lawrence Masal. Celia Butler.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Superintendent Kelly. Irma Tranter, President, Friends of the Parks. In the short time that Superintendent Michael Kelly has been in charge, progress has been made in streamlining park management and operations. The 2012 budget reflects some new policies and priorities for reorganization and improved park services. Strides have been made in this budget to reduce staff in the central administration by moving 60, as Superintendent Kelly just described, members to neighborhood park locations, saving $1.5 million in central administrative costs. The plan is to eliminate staff on the 4th floor and, as indicated earlier, opening it up for a possible lease or sale. A sale or lease of Park District office space would be a significant benefit to taxpayers. Additionally, we are pleased to see a continued focus on accountability through the hiring of an independent internal auditor that reports directly to the Board of Commissioners. The district has listened to previous concerns of higher program fees for programs, and the 2012 budget does not increase fees for children and adults in the coming year. Both the family discount and the additional for each additional child and the no fees for active military are very good new initiatives. We congratulate the district on allocating $200,000 for a new 6-week free summer teen sports leagues in 35 parks. As we know, sports programs and sports training are critical to our youth who need healthy outlets for their energy and for their social and physical development. The Slam Dunk program, allocating $2.5 million
Closing
for
remarks.
basketball court resurfacing in 100 neighborhoods, will benefit many of these communities that have been clamoring for that. We have a few recommendations. We would like to really work in 2012 with the district on the pilot program on the free green cans, that new initiative for the lakefront. There are some advantages to that, but there are some things that really have to be worked out to make it a really substantial and really innovative program that will benefit the park users visually as well as the district, we think, expense-wise. So we're right this moment asking if we can meet with you to discuss that program and try to work out the glitches. Okay. We urge the district to apply for federal grants in an aggressive way. $5 million is allocated, but we do look back and there were $9 million. So just kind of look at that. There may be some things for particularly violence prevention and health and fitness now. There are new federal grants in those areas. So we urge you to look at that. We'll be happy to send things your way that we find that a governmental agency can apply for. 2 more things, I think, 3. We're happy that the concession revenue is projected to increase 13.5% 6.9% in 2012. We believe that concessions can do better. There are several neat concession buildings that are still vacant, like there's nothing at Connors Park, there's Waveland that's empty, and in Jackson Park, the old Coast Guard building. So we look for those as being filled this year. And we understand that the 2012 budget includes the fund balance transfer of $17.2 million from surpluses of previous years. We do support your plan that Superintendent Kelly just outlined of achieving a balanced budget without those surplus transfers by actually 2015, as indicated just a minute ago. And finally, we would like to see in 2013 budget funding for all parks, not just the staffed ones. Our neighborhood park councils that are affiliated with both Friends of the Parks and the Park District would like to see their playgrounds in some way. We suggest that under the mother park that has the facility, you list the satellite parks maybe, and start to allocate a percent or figure that out. So people who are concerned just about Sumac Park, they can't find a thing in this budget, but maybe you can work toward that in 2013. We thank you for all of your cooperation working with us. Anything we can help on in additional revenue or saving of tax dollars, we're here to help.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie.
Should I start? Thank you, President Trubert, General Superintendent Kelly, and members of the Chicago Park District Board of Commissioners. My name is Lawrence Masal, and I am the president of the Civic Federation, a nonpartisan government research organization. We appreciate this opportunity to testify regarding the fiscal year 2012 budget. Our full budget analysis has, I believe, just been handed out to you and has been made available to your staff and is also available on our website at civicfed.org. The Civic Federation is pleased to support the district's proposed $407.5 million spending plan for fiscal year 2012. We believe it shows a commendable emphasis on cost containment and revenue alternatives to a general tax increase, general fees increase. The budget contains a 2.5% increase in appropriations over last year, and as has been stated, holds the property tax levy flat for the 7th year in a row. It relies more on the increase in non-tax revenue sources instead of general tax increases. And we believe, especially in these difficult economic times, that that is appropriate. It will include service fee increases at Soldier Field for parking and slip fees for the district harbors. We are pleased that the district is planning to develop a multi-year plan to eliminate the structural deficit by 2015, and that we are not relying on the TIF surplus, which is also a one-time revenue source, to close this budget gap. However, we do have some concerns regarding the continued use of non-recurring revenue sources that has been pointed out. The $12 million transfer from the general fund balance is not sustainable in the long term. We're pleased that there is a plan to move forward to work on that. Fiscal year 2012 marks the 6th year in a row that the district has used non-recurring revenues to balance its budget. We're concerned as well that the district's rising personnel costs may not be sustainable. Personnel costs will rise by 3.2% or $5.3 million this year, despite the elimination of 33 vacancies. The proposed wage increases for union employees of 3% and 1.5% for non-union employees also raises questions about affordability and sustainability. We're most concerned for the Civic.
Please make your closing remarks.
The Civic Federation is most concerned about the continuing decline of the Park District Pension Fund. In the last 10 years, that fund has gone from 97% funded to now just over 62%. We believe that this body cannot wait for the master solution to come from Springfield or for other governments to lead the way, but instead needs to address its own pension shortfall. Options include exploring joining the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, which provides pensions for every other park district in the state of Illinois. And if we are not able to continue to fund at the appropriate level these pensions, we need to look at reductions in the benefits for current employees. We also have a series of recommendations in our report. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for your support.
Ms. Ms. Butler? Okay, our next three speakers are Tom Drebenstedt, Frank Klein, and Mr. McGee.
Good afternoon. General Superintendent Kelly, President Traubert, and members of the board, I want to thank you for the opportunity to comment on this budget on behalf of President Christine Boardman. She and I represent the Service Employees International Union Local 73. My name is Frank Klein, the Division Director for the Chicago Park District and the Chicago Public Schools for the union. We represent over 2,000 frontline and administrative staff, as well as most seasonal employees. We proudly like to say that we're the people in the parks. After having made sacrifices to the tune of 13 furlough and 4 shutdown days over the last years, and looking at 3 more shutdown days in the future year, we are, however, pleased to support this budget's steps to put resources into the field to increase staff support for programming and serve our communities and to boost revenues. A world-class city deserves a first-class park system, and to have that, we need to attract, develop, and keep dedicated staff, and we need to be able to pay the bills. This budget makes important steps in these directions by shifting existing resources into the field, better staffing programs that serve the citizens of Chicago. We support the commitment to fill 56 monthly positions. There are dedicated people out there who would like to make a difference in the lives of kids, seniors, and others through sports, culture, nature, and special recreation. Strengthening the career ladders in the district can provide for that can provide for a family will bring in and keep the best people, and we need those to keep our program strong. We look forward to partnering with the district and representing the views of our frontline staff, our members, on how best to make that happen. For example, the wellness initiatives that we're looking at to both increase the health of the
Please
employees,
make your closing remarks.
as well as to control costs. And we urge the district to work with us to look at bringing outsourced work back in-house in ways that bring about better quality and better costs for the taxpayers of the city, as we've done with certain of the comfort stations over the past year. Okay, we're confident that together we can provide first-class park services for a world-class city. So thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
My name is Tom Drebenstedt, and I am a member of the Rutherford-Sayre Park Advisory Council. And I'm bringing 2 concerns of ours before you today. And these are really enhancements to a presentation that I did at the September meeting in the North Region. And our Park Council, which is strengthening, we're a bit more organized than we have been. We're looking at basically 2 concerns. Our visual arts program has gone away, and we brought this up in September. Our instructor left the position, and there's been no replacement posted as of yet. But the problem that we see is that we have a lot of youth and adults that are interested. We've served a couple hundred folks over the last couple of years. Almost 30% of the parks programs are art programs, so we've lost that. And there seems to be a bit of a disconnect, and we advertised more programs, meaning somebody at our park advertised these, but we have no instructor. And even though we know there's no instructor and no search for one, suddenly we have 40% of our programming advertised to our neighborhood, and that's not going to happen. So we need, I guess what I'm asking for is a request to strengthen our dialogue a little bit so we can get on the same page. And we would like to review the budget. I've reviewed our park budget, And the very small amount that's been allocated for an art teacher, we'd like to review that before it gets set in stone. And realizing that budgets are a little fluid and maybe we can move things around a bit. So that's the kind of discussion we want to have. We have been surveying.
Please make your closing remarks.
We've been surveying folks in the neighborhood. So we'll have those results to give to you. And then the second point I want to make, and it's brief, has to do with the capital improvement budget. I've reviewed the 2011-15 budget. Our park is told that we have outside funding available to do some work at our park, and I've been trying to find out the source of that. We're real interested. If there's outside funding outside of the budget, we don't have to worry about that, and we can get people to work on some serious issues on our building, which has some serious masonry issues at this point. So basically what I'm asking for
You have exceeded
as
your
a
2 minutes.
council member is to enhance our dialogue. So I've left my name and contact information on that sheet, and I hope to hear from you.
Thank you. If you see, there's two fellows I want you to introduce yourself to. One is Vaughn Bryan. He's our new Chief Program Officer. And standing next to him is Rob Raymond, who can address the capital concerns.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. McGee?
All right. Good afternoon. My name is Leonard McGee, members of the Chicago Park District, and to General Superintendent Mike Kelly. My name is Leonard McGee, President of the Gap Community Organization, Vice President of Dunbar Park Advisory Council, located on the near south side of Chicago. First, we extend to cheer with bells ringing and noisemakers clanging for your new appointment as General Superintendent Mike Kelly. The Gap Community Organization would like to extend a resounding congratulations to the past board members, former Superintendent Tim Mitchell, past Mayor Richard Daley, for your willingness to support ideas developed by the community members, organizations, Illinois Institute of Technology, and former Chicago Park District and former adjunct professor Elizabeth Corman for accepting our design for a $2 million improvement. This project started in the fall of 2006, and we completed the phase in August 2011. The opening clearly showed that if you build it, they will come. They came from Little Village, near South, Bridgeport, The Gap, Lake Meadows, Prairie Shores, and South Commons, just to name a few places. We would just like to say thank you. We attended meetings for the last 5 years. This summer showed that working together we can form and create when others lack the ability to dream and have faith. This spring/summer, we hope to have a statue of Paul Laurence Dunbar installed. This image will be 20 to 30 feet tall. The statue process has been moving very slow, but after today, we will
Please make your
begin to
closing
push.
remarks.
Again, members of this board, we thank you. Now to the budget, and it won't take that long, it's short. We request to have a budget for Dunbar Park because we do not have a field house anymore. We do not get listed in the budget book. We had a field house in the school in the 60s and 70s that when I went there. We need some bathrooms, new lighting throughout the park, upscale dog run. I do repeat, upscale dog run, not just a dog run. New surfacing for the tennis courts and lights, and a host of other things
You have exceeded
that we
your 2
would
minutes.
have in our budget. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next three speakers are Chris Connor, Gary Osaward, and Jose Lopez.
Superintendent Kelly, President Traubert, Commissioners, my name is Chris Connor. I'm a captain of a charter boat company in DuSable Harbor. And in looking over your budget and everything, it seems you, over the 15 years I've been in the harbor system, you continually look to the boaters to fund more and more projects. I look at the increase that my harbor is going to face versus some harbors that are not going to get an increase, and I look at it's 3%, which Okay, look at the dollars, it's $60,000. Not a big number, but I ask each and every one of you, if I could show you $60,000 in savings at my harbor, would I not get an increase? Every time that I go to my boat, I drive through a parking machine or a parking hut. Who's sitting in there but a lovely young lady reading a book? We pay her, I'm sure, a very good fee to read a book. Wednesday nights, it's beer can racing. The parking is closed at 5 o'clock. If we put an automatic vending machine on the parking, you've got 200 racers minimum, each crew probably 4 or 5, so let's say 2 cars per, 400 cars at $20 a piece. Round numbers, $8,000. How quick does it add up to where you don't have to increase my fees, plus it will bring in extra revenue? I've got 11 people in my harbor, quote, servicing me. Walk into my harbor master office, walk down by the harbors, and you will see multiple people sitting around doing nothing. There's stuff to do, it doesn't, but they sit around. Yes, it gets done. The harbor master there does a great job, but you're overstaffed. Going into the numbers now,
Please make your closing remarks.
on page 10 of your budget summary, and I quote, with requests to reduce their management fees and operating expenses, collective net revenue is projected to increase nearly $750,000. This is due in part to the introduction of the dry boat storage, a new harbor configuration, and opening of the 31st Street Harbor. Did you all read the story in Cranes this past week? At DuSable Harbor, I have a fence around my whole parking lot
You have
that
exceeded your
cost
2 minutes.
approximately $300,000 to build in round numbers. No one in the right mind would store a boat under there. You've got falling concrete. There's signs as you enter the harbor that your car is going to get dripped on by acid and things that comes out of the concrete. One person signed up to put their boat under DuSable Harbor this winter. You guys, you're following West Trek instead of listening to the boaters. You need to listen to the boaters what we want.
You have exceeded your 2 minutes.
Can I continue, or can I schedule a meeting with you for later, before this budget's passed? It's crazy what you're doing. You're letting the fox into the hen house. They get 11%. Well, you can disagree, and I'll disagree politely with you. Can I schedule an appointment with you?
Sure.
Great. Who do I do that with?
My office.
Okay. Is there a contact?
Right down at 312 742 4200.
And just in quick closing, I realize it's a tough job, gentlemen, and I appreciate everything you do. I think the programs with the enlisted men, the active duty, and the cuts you're doing are great, but you got to quit going after us every single year. You're going to lose
Thank you,
voters.
Mr. Connor.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Gary Osabord. Superintendent Kelly, Commissioner President Trobert, Commissioners. I also appreciate the work that's been done on the tremendous amount on the budget, and looking forward to closing any structural deficits and making things work the way the most effectively that they can. I'm especially interested that in past years we used to see wild swings back and forth from year to year here as they gradually set up standards for how to define the lines. I see much less of that this year, and so that perhaps in future years we'll be able to compare more year to year. And also I would hope that in the years some way can be found to show what's happening on the ground in the small parks that don't have the field houses. I represent the South Shore Cultural Center Advisory Council, and we understand from press releases that there was a major grant from the state for several renovations in several of these buildings and parks, and we hope to learn more about that. We've submitted ideas. The Park District's people under Mr. LeVar have have submitted ideas, and we hope to be able to get together with them. We gave a list of possible things in conjunction with, of course, the main things that have to be done with the windows and the weatherization, things to help make that a more sustainable facility. And we hope that we can have a voice in how that's decided, as well as
Please make your
with
closing remarks.
a wonderful bequest that we also received for things. We do know that our rentals are down, partly because people can go to other places now, and they come out and they look and they say, gee, that's really kind of expensive for us. So they don't rent as much. We do have a wonderful increase in public programs. We hope that you come out to see the
You
two
have
or three
exceeded
every
your 2
month that
minutes.
we have, and we hope that you'll continue to use this gem of the South Side. And again, I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate Mr. Kelly on his appointment as General Superintendent. And we all want to work with you. All the park councils want to work heavily with the Park District to make this the best service that the children and the adults deserve in these terrible economic times. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Hello, my name is Jose C. Lopez. I belong to the Brighton Park neighborhood. I have lived there for 30 years. I went to Kelly High School 20 years ago, and I'm gonna be talking about the Brighton Park, the Kelly Park. It's in the deplorable state. We want a fully funded requesting to renew the park. Every time that is winter time or raining season, there's nothing but puddles in there. The playground is very unsafe for the kids because it's close to the alley. The field house is very small. It hasn't been renovated in the past 40 years. And we have talked to all of our representatives, and they are agreeing with us that we need to renovate the park. We go to when I used to go to Kelly High School, we used to go instead to the other park because it was much nicer. The park is close to it's in the middle of two gangs, and a lot of times those two gangs have their fights there. It's very unsafe. The community continues to be committed to the rebuilding of Kelly Park. Last week we had over 40 people attend a public meeting to give input on what type of renovations they would like to see at Kelly Park. A month ago, about 50 Kelly High School students participated in the creation of 1-minute video highlighting the need of rebuilding Kelly Park. We submitted a video as part of an application for a 50,000 Pepsi Challenge grant. Our application was selected among 1,500 to compete
Please make your closing remarks.
in their online competition for December where the public votes for projects. We're excited and really appreciate that the Park District has assigned a project manager to help manage the renovation of Kelly Park. We know that the Park District has a tight budget, and we are very grateful that they have chosen to prioritize Kelly. And we have letters from all our representatives. Thank you.
Any checks?
You have the checks. You have the checks.
Our last speaker is Mr. George Blakemore.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to concerned citizens, to park staff, and to the bureaucrats who are present. My concern is with the Park District, independent of Chicago Park District, independent from the city of Chicago. from the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or any politician. The Park District received money from the taxpayers. That money is set aside independent, and it was stated that in so many years they have not increased this. So, good. You get your own resource and revenue, from the taxpayers, and your fees that you charge the vendors. It is not healthy to be tied to the city of Chicago. I am advocating for an independent park district that the citizens of Chicago can vote on a park district elected officials that are not appointed by the mayor. So, citizens, put on your thinking caps. The Park District, I would like to praise, and I put down the phrase, have been done.
Please make your closing remarks.
You have been doing an excellent job here. Mr. Kelly, I'm not criticizing you, the superintendent, or the President Tarpon, but I think that you can do a better job by not being connected to the corrupt city of Chicago political system. So you got your money.
You have
So
exceeded your
why
2
are
minutes.
you connected to a political system? I want to leave this with you citizens. Health is wealth. Stroger Hospital is having problems with their people coming in seeking health care. If the Park District would advocate
You have exceeded your 2 minutes.
exercise, eating programs, art, play, that too would help our city. So again, I advocate the disconnect of this great park system with the political system on the 5th floor of City Hall.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Blakemore.
you're doing good, but you can do better if you are totally independent of the political system. Mr. Blakemore have exceeded his time, and excuse me, Mr. Blakemore, could you sit down? So listen, what I want to say, Mr. Blakemore have been seen, Mr. Blakemore have been heard,
Thank
and
you,
I
Mr.
hope
Blakemore.
the ancestors will appreciate me. We need an independent and elected board. Thank you all. And all of you have a peaceful and blessed day. Happy Hanukkah, happy Christmas, and happy holiday season to all our citizens of Chicago. And thank you, and you, and you.
There are no more speakers.
Okay, that concludes the public hearing. All public comments have been received. Do any of the commissioners wish to make any further comments?
I want to make a comment. It's my 12th year. I'm the senior at the table. I think I'm even the oldest probably. But I called Steve Hughes, and this is what I said to him. I said, in my 12 years of being a commissioner of Chicago Park District, I've never seen a budget put together with such transparency and tracking as what his team did. And I wanted to make that as a public acknowledgement. Steve's group put together a budget which you can follow, you can understand, and if you have issues with it, you can certainly raise them without a whole lot of uhs. So to Steve and his crew, thank you very much for making our job a lot easier in terms of understanding where we might want to go in 2012. So Steve, thank you. Tanya, thank you. And that's my comment.
Okay, and Mike, I just want to, first of all, congratulations on your first budget. It's often said, looking at government municipal agencies, that you can tell their priorities by their budgets. Budgets state priorities. And I think that we can see from here that there's a priority to get to a balanced budget. You've committed to that. You've committed to having that structural deficit every year until we get rid of it. And I'd also like to comment on your effort to, your priorities are shown by the effort to get things out in the field. There is also there's shared pain, but there's some pain down here, with the people that you're leading right here at the headquarters. You're asking them to do more work with the consolidation and cutting some of their benefits, and that ultimately is cutting part of their compensation. And so, there's going to be more work done down here, more efficient, and I think, it'll be led by you. I also would like to thank the comments that were made here, and you must believe they don't fall on deaf ears. We really do listen and hear. And afterwards, where I've learned some things today, I'm certainly going to investigate and try to learn more, and we'll try to be responsive. But it really is part of the important budget process that we have this kind of participation, and you all need to know how valued it is. You have nothing more precious than your time, and thank you for giving some of it up today. So that includes the public hearing. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion's carried. That concludes the public hearing. The meeting is adjourned.